Oh, come you hear the fight to shun, or have the sheep with me, man? Or were ye at the Shirmuir, or did the battle see, man? I saw the battle sair and tuch, and reeking red ran many a shook. My heart for fear gaed sook for sook, to hear the thuds and see the cluds o' clans for woods and tartan duds swagglum that kingdoms three, man. Hey dum header up my hey dum dan, hey dum header up my hey dan, hey dum header up my hey dum dan, hey dum header hey dan. Red lads with black cads to meet them where they slow, man. They rushed and pushed and blood out gushed, and many a buke did fall, man. The great Argyle had on his files, I want the glance for 20 miles. They had the glance like ninepin Kyles. They hacked and hashed while broadswords clashed, through they dashed and hewed and smashed till payment died of all, man. Hey dum header on my hey dum dan, hey dum header on my hey dan, hey dum header on my hey dum dandy, hey dum header hey dan. Had you seen the fella begs with skyre and tartan trews, man, when in their teeth they'd order wigs and covenant true blues, man. Lines extended long and large, bayonet overpowered the targe, thousands hastened to the charge. Way heel and wrath they paid the sheath, crew blades to death, to loot or breath they bled like frighted does, man. Hey dum header on my hey dum dan, hey dum header on my hey dan, hey dum header on my hey dum dandy, hey dum header hey dan. We lost some gallant gentlemen among the Hieland clansman. I fear my Lord Panmure is slain or in his enemy's hands, man. Had you seen this double flight? Some died for wrong and some for right. Many bade the world good night. St. Belsimel with muskets snell, Tories fell and Whigs to hell flew up in frighted bands, man. Hey dum header on my hey dum dan, hey dum header on my hey dan, hey dum header on my hey dum dandy, hey dum header hey dan, hey dum header on my hey dum dan, hey dum header on my hey dan, hey dum header on my hey dum dandy, hey dum header hey dan.
Well, thanks very much. Good evening and welcome to another series of Corries and Other Folk. I won't waste time naming names, but since we saw you last, we've been very busy gathering together some guests who I think you're going to find very entertaining. So stay with us during the next few weeks.
Yeah, and some guests are really outstanding, and what could be more outstanding in the first show of any series than a living legend? They've been friends of ours for many years and favour us with their friendship, and they favour us yet again tonight because by giving us this, what is for them a very rare appearance on British television, yeah. The Clancy Brothers and Tommy Makem.
Look at the coffin with golden handles. Isn't it grand, boys, to be bloody well dead? Let's not have a sniffle, let's have a bloody good cry, and always remember the longer you live, the sooner you bloody well die.
Look at the mourners, bloody great hypocrites. Isn't it grand, boys, to be bloody well dead?
Let's not have a sniffle, let's have a bloody good cry, and always remember the longer you live, the sooner you bloody well die. Look at the flowers, all bloody withered. Isn't it grand, boys, to be bloody well dead? Let's not have a sniffle, and let's have a bloody good cry, and always remember the longer you live, the sooner you bloody well die. preacher, bloody sanctimonious. Isn't it grand, boys, to be bloody well dead? Let's not have a sniffle, let's have a bloody good cry, and always remember the longer you live, the sooner you bloody well die.
Look at the widow, bloody great female. Isn't it grand, boys, to be bloody well dead?
Let's not have a sniffle, let's have a bloody good cry, and always remember the longer you live, the sooner you bloody well die.
He's from Tipperary, but these other well, I have nothing to do with it.
But,
You may have influenced him wearing the kilts and things, but
New songs been written in the folk idiom, and some great ones have been written.
That's right.
Somebody said, we're talking about history as or folk music as history. They said that written history was never anything more than the propaganda of the victor.
That's true.
boy, there was not a lot of propaganda where our stuff was concerned.
Whereas folk songs were the true history of the people who were living through it.
That's a fact. Yeah, true.
Yeah.
You must have found over the years, I mean, your own presentation of it gets over to people who wouldn't normally listen to folk music.
That's true, yeah.
You know, on stage. I mean, your concert audience is, as I suppose, ours. You maybe bring people in because of a very popular kind of presentation, which I don't think is invalid at all. I mean, a lot of people will criticise you and us, I suppose, for that presentation.
Well, of course, all music is like language. It's a changing, living thing, and it keeps sort of evolving and changing and adapting to its new environment.
Well,
and we did that with folk music. And one of the factors involved was the fact that we started in America. And when we got up to sing some of our Irish songs, we realized that Americans wouldn't understand half what we were saying. The same as some of the Scots songs.
That's right.
They're not immediately understandable to people outside Scotland. So we just changed them to make them understood by our audience. And I think the fact that we had been in theater taught us the lesson that if your audience do not understand you, you're a dead duck no matter what you're doing.
Exactly, that's true. That's true.
And so we did change them, and we make no apologies to anybody. I mean,
Great.
we changed them too.
One of the kind of sad things to see in the trends of music today is that, well, we had a fellow who used to produce and distribute our records in America, worked with CBS. And I met him years later, and he said, the business has changed so much. He said, when we were recording with Columbia Records, they tried to record music for all the variety, the multitudes of tastes, classical, folk, rock and roll, country and western, hillbilly, and all the different musical types. He said then they realized that they owned the radio station, they owned the television network, they owned the means of communication, so they began to manufacture the taste for the audience.
Yeah. Well, I think the same
And they
thing's
began to
happening.
manipulate.
Yeah, I think the same thing's
So that modern music, to a great extent, is not a spontaneous outpouring of music as has been from time immemorial, but rather a manufactured industry.
One of the big differences between Tin Pan Alley, as they used to call it, or the sort of commercial folk music, or commercial popular music, and folk music, there's a very big difference. And that is that most folk music was written by people who felt very strongly about something and wanted to express it. And that's the only motive for their writing the song. Whereas in the commercial side, a man wrote a song to make money,
Yeah.
which is also valid, but somehow that there is a difference.
That's why folk musicians don't make any money, and the people who commercially make lots of money.
That's why we're all sitting here talking about it.
That's
I'm doing
right.
it, isn't it? Yeah. Well, listen, all of these folks here have been listening very intently, and I'm sure that they're very interested in what we're talking about, but I'm sure they'd rather hear you sing as well. So would you like to take up your positions over there, chaps?
Right.
And while you're doing that, I'll just introduce what you know. The boys... The boys are going there to take up their positions, and they are going to give us a song now. It's called Red-Haired Mary.
While going to the fair of Dingle, one fine morning last July, when going down the road before me, a red-haired girl I chanced to spy. I went up to her, said I, young lady, my donkey he will carry too. Well, seeing as how you have a donkey, to the Dingle Fair I'll ride with you. Now when we reached the town of Dingle, I took her hand to say goodbye, when a tinker man stepped up beside me, and he belted me in my left eye.
Keep your hands up, Red-Haired Mary, her and I will soon be wed. We'll see the priest this very morning. Tonight we'll lie in a married bed.
Now I was feeling kind of peevish, and me poor old eye was sad and sore, when I gently tapped him with me hobnails, and he flew back through Murphy's door.
Keep your hands up, Red-Haired Mary, her and I will soon be wed. We'll see the priest this very morning. Tonight we'll lie in a married bed.
A policeman came around the corner, and he told me I had broke the law, when the donkey kicked him in the kneecap, and he fell down and broke his jaw.
Keep your hands up, Red-Haired Mary, her and I will soon be wed. We'll see the priest this very morning. Tonight we'll lie in a married bed.
Then he went off to find his brother, the biggest man you ever did meet, and he tapped me gently with his knuckles, and I was minus 2 front teeth.
Keep your hands up, Red-Haired Mary, her and I will soon be wed. We'll see the priest this very morning. Tonight we'll lie in a married bed.
Now the red-haired girl, she kept on smiling. I'll go with you, young man, she said. We'll forget the priest this very morning, and tonight we'll lie in Murphy's shed.
Keep your hands up, Red-Haired Mary, her and I will soon be wed. We'll forget the priest this very morning. Tonight we'll lie in Murphy's shed.
Now through the fair we roved together, my black eye and her red hair, smiling gaily at the tinkers, and begod we were a handsome pair.
Keep your hands up, Red-Haired Mary, her and I will soon be wed. We'll forget the priest this very morning, and tonight we'll lie in Murphy's shed. He is our brave young highwayman, the story we will tell. His name was Willie Reilly, and in Ireland he did dwell. 'Twas on the Kilworth mountains, he commenced his wild career, and many a wealthy nobleman before him shook with fear. And it's Brennan on the moor, Brennan on the moor, bold, brave and undaunted was young Brennan on the moor. One day upon the highway, as Willie he went down, he met the mayor of Cashel, a mile outside the town. The man he knew his features pictures, and he said, young man, says he, your name is Willie Brennan, you must come along with me. And it's Brennan on the moor, Brennan on the moor, Paul the Raven, undaunted was young Brennan on the moor. So Brennan's wife had gone to town, provisions for to buy, and when she saw her Willie, she commenced to weep and cry, said, hand to me that tenpenny, and as soon as Willie spoke, she handed him a blunderbuss from underneath her cloak. For young Brennan on the moor, Brennan on the moor, Paul the Raven, undaunted was young Brennan on the moor.
Now with this loaded blunderbuss, the truth I will unfold. He made the mare to tremble, and he robbed him of his gold. 100 pounds was offered for his apprehension there. So he with horse and saddle to the mountains did repair.
Did young Brennan on the moor, Brennan on the moor, Paul the Raven, undaunted was young Brennan on the moor. No Brennan being an outlaw up on the mountains high, with cavalry and infantry to take him they did try. He laughed at them with scorn until at last was said, by a false-hearted woman he was cruelly betrayed. Was young Brennan on the moor, Brennan on the moor, Paul the Raven, undaunted was young Brennan on the moor. Hey!
Well, wild times in Ireland with Brennan on the moor. You know, in Scotland, about the same period in history, arranged marriages were very much in vogue. And here's a wee song about a girl of 21 who's being forced to marry a boy who's only 16. The trees are all ivy, and the leaves they are green. 'Tis many lang years since I been, and it's I'm on Lima Lane on a cold winter's night. For my bonny laddie's lang a-growing. Oh, Father, dearest Father, ye hae done me muckle wrong, for you have wed me to a lad that's ower young. For he is but 16, and I am 21, and my bonny laddie's lang a-growing. Oh, doctor, dear doctor, I hae done ye nae wrong, for I have wed you to a noble laird's son. One day he'll be the laird, and you will wait on him, and all the time your laddie will be growing. College wall, I saw some college boys, they were playing at the ball. They were all bonny lads, but the bonniest of them all was my laddie, but he's all lang a-growing.
was but 16, he was a married man. When he was 17, she had gotten him a son. And when he was 18, his grave grew green. And cruel death put an end to his growing.
Now I'm returning with gold in great store, and I swear I will play the wild rover no more.
And it's no day never, no day never, no more will I play the wild rover. No, never, no more.
Well, I think you can tell that we're going to go on here for a little while yet. So thanks for joining us, and until we see you again, take care and good night.
I went into an alehouse where I used to frequent, and I told the landlady me money was spent. I asked her for credit, she answered me nay. Such a custom as yours I can get any day.
And there's no